Okay, we are here. I am here with Dr. Carmen Thomas. All right, this is going to be a transformational uh, podcast today because that's the name of her company. If you can see this ticket, if you guys are looking, it is Gems Uncovered. She has an event coming up, but we're not going to talk about the event just yet. What we're going to talk about are the top 5 things that women do wrong when starting a business. And Carmen and I have been talking a lot about that, but let me give you a little bit about Carmen, her background. Bam! Do you see her on the cover here, Speakers Magazine? Uh,
Bam.
she is, first of all, she's a doctor. She's an earned doctor, okay? And 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 her degree, she just got this year. I'm so proud of her.
Oh, thank you.
And so, yeah. And how long did it take you to get that degree?
5 years in a lifetime.
5 years in a lifetime, exactly. So one of the things I like about Carmen is that once she has a heart of gold, she is a minister. She's been married for, how long have you and Miller been married?
About 28 years.
About 30 years. Okay, about 30 years. Beautiful family, heart of gold, loves to help women specifically in business. She's a Six Sigma certified, let me get that right, Six Sigma belt certified professional. That means really from the standpoint that she knows about processes and systems and she can really help. She can see a problem and automatically get it going for you. All right. She knows about resources. She has a real estate license. She's sold real estate for a while. And I met her in a personal note, met her in Lansing, which is where she lives. And we were both going to the same church. And she was one of the one of the first friendly faces that I met there. And we have stayed friends my daughter was 5 at the time. And I think now she's 20. Yeah, she's like almost going on 25 now. So it's been almost 20 years. And I just remember that she is the real deal. She walks her talk. She gives it to you straight. Carmen is very intuitive, very prophetic. And so when she speaks to you, I want you all to listen. She says everything with love. So we're going to talk about the things that women do wrong, but it's really so that you can get things right. Okay, so that's really the main thing. And I see we have some people on live. Hey, just want to say hey. So Carmen, this is a tricky part because this is part podcast, part webinar, part everything. But we really want women to really understand what it is that that they do wrong in business. So to find out more about Carmen, though, really is she was in our September issue. You can go to speakersmagazine.net and actually pull the magazine down and actually read about it. But she is the owner of Transformation Empowerment Solutions, and she also has a nonprofit called Transformation Gems. Transformation Gems Uncovered, the Empowerment Covered is next weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend. So 2 weekends from now. But if you're listening on the podcast, you probably missed it. But you can still go to transformationgemsevent.com. But her overall mission, just so that you know, is to empower women to create systems, legacies, and become recession proof. Who doesn't want that, right? So Carmen, so we're going to go over the top 5 things, and this won't be long because we really want women to get it. So the number one thing that we talked about earlier was that they don't have, not that they don't have a business plan, but they don't have a current business plan. So they wrote one when they first decided, I'm going to have a business, I'm going to name a business, I'm going to name a baby, and they write all these plans, and then they don't look at it for a year or 2 or 3. So kind of talk about why it's important to have a current business plan.
So a business plan is like a living document, right? So as we create our plan, even if we created our plan 12 months ago, things change fast in technology world, internet world, podcast world.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So these are all the things that we need to look at when we're going back in and we're like making some changes to our plan so that we can incorporate what's current, what's relevant, because we don't want to be stuck in the past and then we can't keep up with new business opportunities for the future.
Right. And that's really key because you want to stay relevant. You may have started a business plan, and as you dig into it, going in the business, you see that you have a pivot. There's certain things that are selling well that aren't selling well. You may need to change. So do you think, is it every quarter, every month? How often should someone revisit their business plan?
So for me, I probably look at my plan because I use it kind of as a roadmap too.
There you
So
go.
there I go, right, Pam?
Mm-hmm,
So I
mm-hmm.
look at my plan probably monthly just to make sure that I'm on track and what I thought was good is still relevant for today's time and nothing has changed or been deleted or modified, so that I can stay on the cutting edge, so that I can take care of my customers that I currently have and also gain new customers, because that's what business is all about.
Right. So basically what we're saying is you write the business plan. You do need a business plan. If you don't, there are a lot of templates out there that you can go and get a business plan template. And it doesn't have to be 500 pages, okay? We're just talking about a basic plan, and you use it as a roadmap or a blueprint or a checklist where you go over it monthly. Now, I will say that I use goals. You know, I have I use this one right here. This is not a business plan, but I'm a very creative person. So I use this right here. It's called my shiny business goals, right? And I have them written down in this book, and I have one for 2020. And so I carry it with me as a checklist. And it really is. It has checklists in there, and it's part of my business plan. I've been in business for a long time. So the one that I wrote when I first started, that ain't happening now, right? Because it's totally different. So what I do is I have my goals, and it goes over each thing. So that's number one. Anybody have any questions? Just want to make sure. Karen, Carmen, you watch as well. Okay. Number two. This is the one that we talked about. All right, so you're just starting your business and you got this great idea and you know you could deliver, but you go out and you start bragging that you are the expert and you are this and you are that and you're bestseller and you are the number one, or you're a millionaire maker and this and that, and you haven't done it. So the number one mistake, or not the number one, but the number two mistake that women make in business is not having real receipts when they're going out and making claims.
Mm.
When I say real receipts, so say for instance, it says, okay, you know, I am a business owner. I help people with their PR. I have helped, you know, and you can name your clients. I've helped TD Jakes, Creflo Dollar. I've helped Dr. Susan Johnson Cook. I've helped a lot of, you know, Pastor Andre. You know, it doesn't have to be all big names, but, you know, people where they've had real results. So even if you're just starting out, you can't, you know, we want to speak those things that be not as though they are, but you don't lie. That's what I'm saying. So you want to make, I'm $1 million maker, and you've not done that. It sounds good, but you have to have receipts. You have to have testimonials, and you have to have clients that have had results. So what I find in Carmen too, when they're starting out, that breaks trust. It breaks trust. And you will not have a business long if you're breaking trust. If you're going out and you're saying that you are a certain thing and you're not, or you have something that you say that you can do, but you've never really done it, but you're saying that you're an expert at it. Now, we want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. They're just starting out. But what I'm saying is that when we write this website copy, or we're writing these sales letters, or we're meeting people and networking, you don't lie. You have to have integrity. People go by a know, like, and trust factor, and trust is key. People will not spend money with you. First of all, it's too easy to Google whatever it is that you say you can do, right? You can Google it. It's like, oh, well, they said that they published 14 books and blah, blah, and Google it, and it's like, you haven't even started a blog. So you want to make sure that you have the receipts to back up what you say you're going to do. And now people may have a question, well, how do I do that? I'm just starting out. Well, you could do what they call beta testing. A lot of companies do that, right? A lot of apps do that. Beta testing, meaning that you let people try your, you know, during a trial period, use your service, help them with, if you're a coach, especially if you're a coach, Carmen, you talk about that. especially if you're a coach, you can coach a couple of people just to give them the results that you know that you can deliver, which is the reason why you want to start the business. So coach a couple of people in beta testing, and then ask them to give you some feedback, some testimonials. That's like a no-brainer, because you can't go out and say, I'm a coach and I'm doing all this stuff, and you have never coached anybody, or you've never had any results. You've coached someone, but you've never had any results. So
Right.
So you have any comments on that one, or did I cover it all?
You covered them all, and I would agree. Except for, so my new thing is coach yourself first and become an expert in what you're coaching yourself in, and then go out and coach somebody else in it so that they can become an expert too, so we can duplicate our systems.
I like that. That is so true, because and I always say every coach should have a coach. So one of the things that, I do PR coaching. So before I did PR coaching, I had a coach. So I know how the coaching process went. But in terms of being a PR coach, I did coach myself. So I knew how to get PR. So you do that. That is so good. If you're a health coach, if you're a life coach, it's really important. So you don't want to give off a false impressions. And two, you want to be an expert in what you're doing. And that's all we're saying, because trust is the main thing that people are going to look at you for. They want to know you. They like you. They want to trust you. But the minute you start saying things that they don't believe, you've lost a customer. And not only have you lost a customer, but they're going to tell other people not to trust you as well. And that's not good. So number 3, this is really big, trying to do it all by yourself, right? Right. Trying to do it all by yourself and not taking time to network and build relationships.
Yes.
So kind of talk about that.
So relationships is key. It's big. Number 1, relationships for me is, especially in my networking world, a relationship is not just somebody who says, I'm going to be your friend on social media and we call it a relationship. No. A relationship is someone that I've actually spent some time with.
Right.
Actually have gotten to know each other. Some of them are people that I've even done business with. These are credible relationships that I can say, I'm going to refer Pam to such and such, and she will take care of Pam because I have a relationship with that person. And so when I recommend Pam to that person, Pam won't have to work hard to make the sale, if you will, because she's already sold based on my relationship that I have with the new client and Pam. Pam to
go on, keep going.
So it's this relationship take care of Pam. It's because I have a when we're building our businesses and networking, getting to know the people first before you go out and just say, I have this established with this individual. Pam said something when she first introduced us. We've been knowing each other for over 20 years, and it's awesome though, because she can coach me in some stuff, so she's, even though we have a relationship, she's an expert in an area that I'm not an expert in, and I'm an expert in an area that she's not an expert in, so we can still help each other grow together. So we can still bring each other up and be successful, and that's still a part of building our relationships.
And relationships, I will say this too, that networking, we could do a whole little webinar on networking, but one of the things about networking is that you go with the mindset of what you can give first, what you can offer, how you can solve a problem, how you can help someone. So if you go to a networking event, don't go with the mindset like, who am I going to get to be my client? Who am I going to get to mentor me? Don't go with the attitude of like, gimme, because that aura, that energy is going to be like, people are going to be like, you know what? Stay back. So go with the attitude. I would say go and act like a host, and not a guest. Go and actually be helpful to other people. I mean, even if you say, someone's looking around, they're trying to figure out where to hang up their coat. Oh, the coat rack is over there. Oh, you see a lady over there. Oh, did you know there's refreshments over there? Go and act like a host. And then people will say, well, she's really, really nice. Carmen was like that. When I first went to the church, she was a friendly face there. She's a friendly face, and she knew I was lost. She was like, what is going on? She knew that I was like one of the oldest people at the church. And she was like, along with her, because we went to a very young church, and it was like, she looked at me, she was like, hey. I was like, hey. She was like, how you doing? You're new here, right? I mean, so you could tell when someone is really genuine, and she was very genuine. So when you're networking with someone, obviously you have some kind of business or you have some kind of service that you want to sell, but don't pounce on people. Get to know them first. When you're networking, make sure that you listen. You have that empathetic ear. What is it that they are into? What is it that they may need? And even if you can't help them, refer them. And then they may say, well, that was so nice. What is it that you do? How can I help you? I had a former client that called me last week because my dad had passed. And she called me and she says, what is it I can do? What is it you need? Sister, whatever you need, I'm there. And people, that's a networking thing. I mean, it has nothing to do. I'm not her. She's not my client anymore. But out of the relationship of her being my client, she just called to say, what can I do? And the same thing with her. I said, well, I'm really good. What can I support you with now? What are you working on? What book do you have coming out? What is it that you need support with? What event are you doing? And that's from time to time. It doesn't always have to. I try to teach this to my daughter. Don't make the only time you call someone when you need something.
Right.
That ain't networking. That's what we call using.
Can you say that again?
Don't let the only time you call somebody when you need something. Yes. That is not networking. That's called using. All right. So you want to check in on people. If you see that they have some things going on in social media, you may want to comment on, you may want to just call them up. Or if someone comes across your mind, then pick up a phone, maybe send them a text. Or if you know what they do and you find that you have another person that you would like to introduce them to, introduce them, make a referral, make an introduction. That is networking. That makes it consistent, makes it evergreen. So Carmen, tell them about some of the network people in your network, what they've done about your conference. You said someone that you knew, a friend from years ago, what just happened.
So can I tell them just a snippet? So I'm having a conference. I started planning for it in December. And so anyways, I had a goal of how many women I wanted to come. And so I just started staying consistent, sharing. I share. I love to share. So I'm sharing my information. And a lady that I grew up with, I haven't seen her in a few years, and a few other people. But this, so one in particular sent me a message and said, I would like to be at your conference and I'm purchasing 2 tickets. And I said, oh, awesome. Do you have the other name? Not yet, because if I can't get a situation to work for me, I want you to take this as a donation because I believe in what you're doing. I've been following you on social media and I see all your information and I love it. I get another one. They send me a check in the mail. I won't tell you how much. But anyway,
in the mail.
They're saying, hey, I love what you're doing. I don't know if I can make it, but I just want to give you this money because I believe in you and I want to catch up with you on your future events because I can't make this one. Mm-hmm, so, and it's just been on and on and on and on. And it's relationships.
It is. So what we're saying is the number 3 thing that most women don't do when they're starting a business is really leverage their relationships, build relationships, realize that they're not the Lone Ranger. Don't try to do everything all by yourself. No. And have a genuine spirit of giving, and then it'll come back to you. It's a spiritual principle. What you give out will come back to you, multiplied. Won't stop preaching, but you get what I'm saying, right? So you want to make sure that you are casting, the bread upon the water, right, and that it comes back. And right. So you do have to do that. And a lot of times we as women could be so like, I'm gonna be a superwoman. I'm gonna try and do it all by myself. I'm gonna do my this by myself. I'm gonna do that. And it's like, all you have to do is like just really, text a couple of friends and say, hey, do you know anybody? Can you refer me to somebody? Hey, I need some help. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Hey, I need some help. And it's okay because you're just starting a business. So you can't know it all. And if you can't do it yourself and you don't have anyone in your network, that's what coaches are for. You can actually then hire a coach. Don't be that person that's like, well, I'm just gonna learn on myself. You can plan to fail. That's gonna happen. So that's number 3. So not trying to do it all yourself. Take time to network. Take time to develop the network. Don't go to a conference and just collect a whole lot of business cards. Go and connect with people, and actually be interested in what they're saying. There are friends that I have now. I just talked with a friend from Dallas. I haven't talked to her in years, but she was on my mind, picked up the phone, and actually we're like on the same wavelength now. So we went through a couple of years where we weren't in touch, and now we're on the same wavelength, doing some things that we're going to do together next year. But it was because I picked up the phone. I said, hey, I really, really miss you. What you been up to? And so she kind of told me, and I told her, and we just reconnected. And it wasn't like I was calling her to, I hate network marketers. It's like, oh yeah, girl, I got to tell you about this new opportunity. I'm not the one. Don't do that to me. But I was just really just calling her to say, how you doing? What's going on? And that's when we said, she's having a TV show come out next year. I said, well, I can help with that. So the networking is so important. It's not something they teach at Harvard Business School, right? Networking is, relationships are everything. Even if you're not starting a business, relationships are everything, because if you're working in a career, the only way you can kind of know about good jobs is that people tell you. They're not going to be advertised. So number 4, and this is really, really key, is the women. We just and I've dealt with a whole lot of them, so it's not like I'm putting shade on them, but these are the things that just want to help you. Is not having the proper banking system and not having legal representation or a legal system. So Carmen, I want you to go over that, because people just think that they can cash app their way through to being $1 million business.
Right.
That ain't gonna work.
And that doesn't work, because somebody is going to be tracking the system.
Hey,
it may not seem like it as of yet, but somebody's tracking you. Watch.
Right. Let me say hi to the people since I got it right. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Leonia. Hey, Shar. Hey, Sabrina Wood, one of your cohorts in there. Alicia, one of your cohorts is in there. Jason, Michelle. Hey, Michelle, peace and blessings. And okay, yeah. So I want to make sure, if you all have questions, put them down there, since I have figured out how to really look at the questions and also talk to Carmen at the same time. So Dr. Carmen, so you were saying about the legal and the banking. So those 2 things are really, really critical if you want to be a for real business person. I mean, you want to be bootleg.
So Pam was making light of the Cash App, right? And we all know you can't probably run $1 million through the Cash App system. So a lot of us probably have done that, because it's so simple to collect money through the Cash App. But really, it's really not a good banking system. It's really good to have a great relationship with the bank and open up a business banking account as a businesswoman, because you get a lot of perks, you have a lot of favor. And if you build the right relationship with the bank, they want you to succeed, because when you succeed, they succeed, right? And they know you're going to pay it forward. I do have a partnership with a credit union, just because of my business is all about the community right now. So I decided to go in partnership with the credit union so that they can actually come in and teach banking systems and setup and processes for women in business, and men too. We won't leave you out all the time, but for the most part, that is going to be happening soon. And also, as far as insurance, same thing. You definitely need to insure your business. I'm bumping into women who have Cash App for taking their payments. And then I'm bumping into women who don't even have insurance. And a lot of the vendors when you start going into the bigger leagues and you want to put your business on the line in a big conference, they want to know if you have insurance, because they do not want to be liable for anything that happens to your business, for their business, because it's the credibility. And so it's important that we get insurance, because, and the insurance it's minimal. It's so small, which could pay off so big. And you also should talk to an attorney to get some advice on, do you even have your business set up properly for what you want your business to look like for the future? And especially as you plan to grow, because hopefully we all create a business to plan to grow.
Yes.
So while you're planning to grow, you want an attorney to plan to grow with you, so that you can have it set up properly.
Right. And that is so important for if you're doing an online business, a brick and mortar business, you need to have an attorney that will look over your contracts. You need to have an attorney. What if you have a client, you invoice and you do the work and they don't pay? And this happens, you know. What if you have a situation in your bank where you need a microloan because of whatever reason, and you don't have a relationship with your bank? So a lot of these things that she's saying, legal, banking, financial, and then we didn't even talk about taxes. Okay, so you definitely need to have separate accounts. You can't just throw everything in one pot and just say, oh, this is how it's going to work. And find that when people are just starting a business, they don't know. They've been working for someone else who's already set up the systems, and all they had to do is go to work. So when you actually then begin your business, there are certain things that you have to do that no one is going to tell you have to do them. You don't have to, but we're telling you these are the things that we see that are missing when you want to scale your business. You want to have the right banking system, you want to have the legal system, and you want to have insurance. Those things are important. They're going to, if you don't have insurance, it may keep you out of some doors. It may keep you from going in and playing in the big league. And so we all do. We want to have those multi-million-dollar businesses where we just feel like this is where we are because we've scaled. The last thing, you have anything more to add about that?
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay. So number 5, this one is about one of the main things that women do when they are starting out a business is not having a real clear idea on what they're selling. Because if you don't sell something, you ain't gonna make nothing. So you need to have a clear sales funnel, how you're going to handle your client intake process. You need to know how to generate leads. You need to always be having generate leads. And then you need to have like a customer service, I guess you would say, program or protocol, so that you actually, the clients that you do have, that you nurture them so that you can get more clients. So that last piece is really all about marketing. And I know sometimes women are like, well, I don't really sell, people are going to hear about me, I'm just going to post on Facebook. Well, that ain't going to work. What if Facebook go down? You ain't got no business. Like, what is it? It says yes. Oh, it's Sabrina Woods. She said, let them know that she is a CPA, certified public accountant. Sabrina Woods. She is on Facebook. She's right here down in the thing. And she was one of the branding accelerator cohorts. So she knows it. And she's been doing it for a minute. She has the receipts. So what we're talking about, she has the receipts. She's been doing this for about 25 years or plus. So we never recommend or refer anybody that we're not sure about. So Sabrina Wood is one. Tell them she's a CPA. But yeah, one of the main things is generating leads. So how do you generate leads? What's your sales funnel? If I were to give you a client today and says, hey, I want to refer someone to you, what are they going to do? Well, just have them call me, write your name on a napkin. And, I've seen some messy people where it's like, even someone that said, I wanted someone that baked a really, really good cake, and they do them and they sell them. And I said, well, just have a little, what's your system? I want to refer other people to your cakes are great. And it was like, oh, well, just give them my number. I said, is there a website? Is it, how are they going to know? And so it's not just enough to be talented at what you do. You need to always make sure that you are marketing 24/7 via your website, via some marketing method that is comfortable for you. All right. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk about Carmen, at your conference, which is coming up next week or following. Yeah, the 25th and the 26th at the Embassy Suites by Hilton in Troy. And I'm going to talk about like the marketing mistakes that people make, thinking that Facebook is it. Or one of the things too, people think that once they have a book, that the book's going to sell by itself. Like, I wrote the book. I told people, I posted, and the book's going to sell. Or I have a book and that's going to build my business. Oh, once I have a book, I'm going to blow up. They are so disappointed. It's like, okay, well, that was a nice book. Now your family and friends have all bought it. Now what? What is the plan? What is the strategy? What is your sales funnel? How do you even get people to know that you exist? So Carmen has a ebook that she would love to gift everyone that is watching today and listening today. Tell them how they can get your free ebook, and tell them what the book is about, first of all, and then tell them how they can get it.
So I actually created a journal workbook. It's really good. It's engaging. So it's going to ask you some posing questions so that you can know who you are, especially because us women sometimes, and I don't want to say it's all about our self-esteem, but it is somewhat about our self-esteem as far as who we are. One of the questions in the book asks you if you could give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would that be?
Wow.
So it gives you assignments so that you can also perfect who you are now and look at some of the things that you've done. How can you change them? How could you move forward? How can you become better? It's all about identifying who you are and becoming the better persons, because we all have so much greatness on the inside of us. We just have to pull it out. And I love helping people pull it out. So,
and so what's the name of the book? Is The Greatness?
It's, I haven't even, so at the conference, I'm actually launching a book that'll be about that. So, but if you go to my, my website and just sign up for, receiving newsletters, transformationgems.com, transformationgems.com, you can immediately have the ebook and you can start playing with it. And if you are attending my conference, you'll get to see and feel the real book.
Okay. All right. So, I didn't ask you this question. Where did the name Transformation Gems come from? Because most people kind of like, like naming is everything in branding. So where did Transformation Gems come from?
Well, for the last 10 years, my life has seemed like it's been like about a transformation. I mean, especially when I got out of the real estate world to going to work in a government job world and then doing entrepreneur on the outside. You talking about a transformation. I was so used to not having a ceiling and a boss in the daytime. I was free. So I had to understand how to transform my mind and renew my mind with some new information after the real estate market crashed. And so I knew that I was only going to want to do that for a certain time period. So I started doing more research, and I went into the path of how do I get where I'm at now to where I want to be for the future. Of course, my future is I got to go back to entrepreneur 100% of the time, because that's just my world. So transformation is, I had to learn how to apply new information so that I can plan for a different type of future so that it becomes recession proof. I create systems and legacies. And then my thing is I like to duplicate it, but also show other women how to do the same thing. So I thought of this transformation, and then the GEMS stands for Gifted Entrepreneurs with Millionaire Status. My thing is, I believe every woman has the potential. If they're not there, they do have it on the inside to become a gifted entrepreneur, and they have the millionaire status on the inside of them. So I believe if you visit me and I can teach you some of my steps with my system and what I did, you could become the same.
That's
or
it.
better. You know, it's always good to be better. You want your children to be better. You want your
Right.
connection.
You do. You do want the next level.
You want everybody to be better, so you can sit back and say, yes, I helped.
Mm-hmm.
I was a part of that success. Even if you don't never tell anybody, it just feels good when we're a part of something to see somebody else, as Pam say, rise to the occasion and shine brightly and become this brilliant diamond.
Mm-hmm. That's, I wanted you to, because people probably thought like Gems was like, oh, like Gems, you know, she's got on jewelry, you know, gem, like shiny gem, but it actually means gifted entrepreneur, millionaire status. And that's really what the Transformation Gems is. So with that, thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Oh, she says, hello. Thank you for evaluation. Help other women succeed. That was Tesha. Tesha said that. And Rosalind said, great session. Rosalind, thank you. Thank you. She's also one of your cohorts as well from the Branding Accelerator. So one of the things that she said that we do want to see other people win. Carmen was the cover for September for her magazine. Her first event is 95% sold out. There are a few seats left. And if you would like to get a ticket, I will be teaching on the 10 mistakes women make when marketing their business. This was when the 5 mistakes women make when starting their business, but marketing is a 24/7, and I'm going to get deep on it. But you can go and actually get a ticket, a physical ticket. But, you know, if transformationgemsevent.com, you can't get a ticket at the door. It's not she ain't that kind of party. Okay, we got a 2-day event at the Hilton in Troy. Okay, so you gotta plan a little bit. Now we have given you enough warning. Like she said, she's been really dropping gems about this since last December. 95% sold out. If you're in Michigan, Troy, Michigan, which is right near Somerset Mall, which is kind of cool. I love Somerset Mall. Get my shop on. Meet us there next week and really come out. And she's got a lot of speakers. There's going to be workshops. She already told you about one of the workshops with the credit union. They're going to be giving information on how to really set everything up so that you're legally, financially, your business can scale. That's really what we're all about. So make sure your business can scale. So with that, Carmen, is there anything else that you'd like to add? October 25th and 26th is going to be our Transformation Gems Empowerment event. I'm proud of you. I really am. It's no joke. It's no joke putting on a conference. Let me tell you, I know, but you're doing it. You're doing it with grace and ease. Grace and ease.
All I can say is when you plan something, put the vision in your face, write out what you want it to be before you get to that spot. Of course, you got to have a roadmap to get there. So you write out your map. You just follow the map, you stay on the process, and keep putting your faith and trust in God and just watch him do the work. Yep. And that's exactly what I did. And you'll see.
So Dr. Carmen Thomas, she's smart. She's a smart girl. She's smart. So I would just say thank you so much for you putting this vision forward. And I'm excited on what God is going to be doing with you in 2020, bigger and better things. And thank you all for joining us today. We basically, let me recap the 5 in case anybody come up. So the number 1 was not having a current business plan. Current meaning that every few weeks, maybe every quarter, at least go over this plan. Don't just write it and then put it on like the shelf. Okay. Number 2, having real life receipts, testimonials, results that you've done for clients. That's important. And don't pretend that you've done something when you haven't. That's lack of integrity. Number 3, don't try to do it all by yourself. Build relationships and network. That is the key. One of the key things that Carmen and I talk about. And if you don't know how to network, get a coach, have someone help you. A coach can make introductions for you. I mean, you've got to invest in your own personal development. So that's really, really important. Number 4, not having the proper banking systems, insurance, or legal things in place, because that can affect your taxes. And we know we don't want any trouble with the IRS. All right. And see Sabrina Wood. Okay, if you need some help with that accounting part. And then the last one is not having a clear idea of what it is you're offering, what you're selling, having a sales funnel, and not generating leads that put them through the funnel so that you can have continual clients. Those are the top 5. And those are really, really key. There's some more, but we want to make sure that you make the shift and that you don't do that, and that there are things that you can do. So when generating leads is a marketing process, but you don't just post on Facebook all day and thinking that's generating leads. There is a actual process of how to do that. Podcasts could be a way to do it. Webinars are a way to do that. There's a lot of different ways, but you have to find what's comfortable for you and what really speaks to your target audience. Because you could do a podcast, but hey, you may have an audience that doesn't listen to podcasts, so that may not generate leads. So you got to know what works for your audience, and that's really going back to marketing 101. It's like, who is your client avatar? All right. So yes. All right. Well, if there's anything else, say the website one more time, Carmen. Dr. Carmen.
Transformationgems.com. And if you can grab a ticket that's left on there, you can try to get in at transformationgemsevent.com. And again, that's transformationgemsevent.com.
I love it. All righty. Well, that is it. Thank you so much, Dr. Carmen. I can't wait to see you.
Pam, I can't wait to see you too.
All righty. God bless you. All right. And go to speakersmagazine.net. Download the issue, the one where she's on the cover, September. All righty. Bye-bye. Grab October too while you're there. All righty. Bye-bye.